Today, we're going to talk about something interesting that happened out at a card show in the US with the promoter for that card show putting up a sign saying they're going to throw customers out if they're caught trading or dealing at the show having not bought a table. This is something that I want to unpack because we've talked about it before on the channel actually, but opinions seem divided online. So I want to, pose the question to you guys whether or not you agree with this promoter, what do you think about it, and what would you do if you saw this up at a card show near you. Now, this was brought to my attention via a comment from there, as you can see on screen, relating to a post put together by Junk Wax Hero. I believe this photo was floating around on the interwebs, and then off the back of it, I decided to sort of comment and want to share my thoughts in this video in particular. I think somebody had shared it, maybe Card Purchaser, and then, Junk Wax Hero had gone ahead and seen it. But this is the sign that was up at the card show. This is a Lake Worth card show over in the US. And the sign basically reads, as you can see on screen, any customers that are caught trying to sell cards, buy cards, or make deals with cards with any other customers without buying a table will be thrown out. Now, a lot of people are basically saying, well, if they saw this out at a show, they're going to walk away. This is unacceptable. It's crazy that promoters are going ahead and doing this. I think Neo said he would never attend a show like this again. This promoter is so out of touch. It's crazy. But it's sort of a bit of a nuanced situation. I talked about this 2 years ago where Breakout Cards actually attended a show and some lady was trying to deal with him as he was entering the show, if I remember correctly. And then the promoter of that show went ahead and saw his video and decided to try and sue him. He threatened legal allegations. And then Breakout Cards was basically putting together a video saying, hey, help me out. I talked about it at the time. And a lot of people were sort of pushing back on the dealer. But what people were saying, and where I agree with them, is that these promoters often make these shows free to attend, and their source of revenue is the tables. So people buying tables to go ahead and sell cards. Then you've got people that have bought those tables now missing out on potential transactions because people are out at the show either buying, selling, or dealing away from the main show. So the people that have gone ahead and paid to be there are sort of getting scammed by not getting the opportunity to sell to customers. And I sort of agree with that statement. It makes sense why you need to be protecting the people that have bought to come and trade at your show. But at the same sort of time, you want people to sort of be engaging in it, and sort of a high active show is going to be better for everybody. So, I feel like a post like this or a sign like this is a little bit out of touch, but I can see where the dealers might be coming from. And I want to pose the question to you guys down in the comments below. What would you do if you went ahead and saw this yourself? Would you walk away? Would you say something to the promoter? What would you, try and do in a situation like this? Because like I said, I see this and it sort of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I sort of talked about that last time. But at the same time, I can resonate with the fact that you've got dealers there that have paid to be there that might be missing out because somebody might just put a table in the parking lot, or they'll put a table in the lobby and try and sell some cards having not paid. I think that kind of stuff is unacceptable, but I don't think you should be discouraging people from wanting to trade cards between each other, right? You want an active show, and that's sort of going to help things grow. And the way this is worded, whilst I can sort of understand where they may be coming from, I think it's putting people off. And if you read some of the comments on Twitter on this post, I'll try and link it down below in the description. A lot of people are basically saying it's insane, right? It makes no sense. They're out of touch. They wouldn't go to a show like this. And, there are people trying to defend the dealer because they've talked about in the past those things that I just mentioned. But at the same time, the fact that you've got so many people here pushing back and saying, hey, this is crazy, I don't want to attend a show like this, tells you that maybe this dealer needs to be doing a little bit more to try and improve. And one of those things that I think they should do, from what I Googled for this show, and again, it is the Lake View card show, or Lake Worth card show, sorry. It's free to attend. So if the promoter wants to try and circumvent stuff like this from happening, maybe they can start charging customers to be there, right? If you want to go to the show, pay $5 to enter, and then they can make their money off the back of it as the promoter. Obviously, that still impacts the people that have paid for a table. But in my opinion, I've paid for tables at many shows. I don't care if somebody's going ahead and flipping cards or selling cards and having not bought a table, because you want more people there. And when you've got a table, you're going to get traffic, you're going to get footwork. People are going to come by and look at your stuff and maybe buy and not buy. It is what it is. But, the more people you've got sort of excited to attend and bring things to try and trade or sell, I think is a good thing. So like I said, I can understand where they're coming from to try and protect dealers, but I feel like this is out of touch, to be perfectly honest with you. I would, not want to go there, because from what I've gathered, and there's been posts online from the, promoter themselves sort of doubling down on this, it just makes me a bit uncomfortable. It makes me not want to be there. And, people have, said the promoter's a bit of a lunatic, at least from other comments. And there's one over here where you've got the promoter actually posting. I'm not sure if you guys can see this clearly. I'll try and zoom in if I can. No, I'll do it in editing. It basically says, "Good morning, everyone. Over the last few months, I've noticed an epidemic happening at card shows in South Florida. It seems that a lot of people, not just kids, feel that they can walk to a card show with a box of cards, find another customer and go up front and make deals without buying a table. I actually caught 2 guys buying and selling cards in the bathroom. I do not give a shit how you reword it or explain it. When you come into a card show as a customer and think you can buy and sell to the other customer, that is effing stealing. That is all it is. The pieces of crap that want to win the lottery without buying a ticket. My dealers are paying for a table for the opportunity to buy and sell cards, and these mother effers want to walk in here, pay nothing, take sales away from my dealers. I talked this over with the Polish club and my security, and we decided that if we catch any customer dealing with another customer in any way, we will throw them out. If they do it again, they'll be banned. The problem is that I cannot spend all day watching them, but my security can. The inmates do not run the prison. I will protect my dealers no matter what. We have signs up at my next show. I'm sorry, people, but this needs to stop." And that's obviously essentially where that sign came from. So like I said a bit earlier, whilst you can resonate with his desire to want to protect dealers, this post just shows, again, that it's not coming from the right place, right? You want people to be dealing. Set up a trade zone. Charge people to be there. You want people to be excited and want to attend. And you've got people like this that are replying from Card Purchaser, I think, made this post. He goes to this show. I've set up at this show. The promoter is a clown. Half his vendors are clowns. If you like 1970 to 85 base Topps baseball, this is the show for you. I stopped setting up over a year ago and haven't been back. So, people are going to defend the promoter for the reasons I said a bit earlier. That post over there, tells you maybe all you need to know about why he's out of touch. So from my perspective, I can resonate. Again, I'll repeat myself for the 50th time in this video, but sort of that attitude is what's wrong. You want people to be excited. You want people to attend these shows. You want people to have fun, and using that kind of language saying they're criminals, and that's how you're referring to them, and you're referring to it as a prison, and you're saying they're mother effers and all that kind of crap, just tells you the tone of the individual. And to me, that just seems like a show I don't want to attend. So anyway, that's just my opinion. You guys can make up your own. Again, I can resonate with his decision, but this goes a bit too far in my opinion. Simply say, hey, don't sell cards. You can trade, but just don't sell cards, please. Because if you want to sell a card, we'd appreciate you buying a table. Or if you want to sort of, circumvent that entirely, get people to pay to attend. It is what it is, guys. Anyway, share your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think about the situation. Let me know what you think about this deal, in particular that comment that I just shared. And what would you do if you went ahead and saw this for yourself? So anyway, it is what it is. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.